And we're back with a new week of spoilers. We're in the home stretch of the week. By the end of the week, the entire set will be spoiled. They always do it the Friday of the second week, and then you get a whole week to look it over, see what you want to do for strategizing, then pre-release, and shenanigans! But let's get on to it. Now, a couple cards did pop up yesterday that I figured I would just... Actually, one popped up the end of Friday, which I'll get to first. And instead of getting to the thumbnailed or the titled cards, we'll get to those when we get to those. But Corrupt Tombstone is 2 generic mana for an artifact rare. Corrupt Tombstone enters the battlefield. You tap it to choose a color of a card in your graveyard and add one color of that card to your mana pool. Dog came up and dog just got her nose on my crotch. I'm like, woo! No, add 1 mana of any colored card. Add 1 mana of any color of that color to your mana pool for the card you choose in your graveyard. This is weird because it's a good card, especially like in Commander or something like that. It's a good card just for mana production, but despite its really low mana cost, which in most cases would be a good thing, this card is worthless in the early game. It does not have a single effect that I don't know if you can tap it for colorless mana, but you have to choose a card in the graveyard is the thing. So I don't think you can just tap it if there's no card in the graveyard unless you somehow are able to get a land in the graveyard or any card in the graveyard in the opening turn or two of the game, which is near impossible to do unless you got Scythe Tiger and sacrifice the land to bring it out. But apart from that, no, there's no value in this in the early game. Now late game, this thing works as any mana generator would. That's perfectly fine. Early game, though, is where the mana costs should come into play. It's a deceiving card, actually. That this is not a first pick card in terms of, hey, for my mana curve, I'm going to have a couple 2-drops, going to have this 2-drop, it's going to work out great. Not necessarily. If you play this on turn 2 instead of playing a creature or something like that, it's a worthless card. It's doing nothing on the battlefield unless you have something in the graveyard to work with. And even then, there's so much exile in this set already, as opposed to some other sets, that the graveyard and the interactions this time around are going to be very interesting to see. So, and there are ways to get cards out of your graveyard, things along those lines. But I mean, that's my thoughts on that. Then we'll go on to our title cards. Now, it's a new dual-colored cycle of lands. They're the not enemy colors. They're the allied colors: blue-black, blue-white, red-black, red-green, and red-white or green-white. So, in terms of the colors, we have Port Town for white for the blue-white. We have the Choked and Estuary. I believe it's Estuary. Is it Estuary or Estuary? Hold on. Do they have the... Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's Choked Estuary. So Port Town for the white-blue, Choked Estuary for the blue-black. I believe it is Foreboding Ruins for the black-red, Game Trail for the red-green, and the Fortified Villages green-white, which some of these have flavor text, some of these don't. So they're all lands, they're all dual colors. What I like about these, as opposed to a different land type we've gotten in the past, like with the comes in tapped unless you control said land or something like that. These ones I think are going to play very well because it enters the battlefield tap, but you may reveal a plane or a land from your hand, and it comes in regularly. That's different. We know people have lands in their hands all the time, or they hold on to lands, or they're just early game they'll have lands. That's not a big issue at all. So the fact that you'll show a land is not a big concern. The fact that you can bring out a dual-colored land with really no drawback except for revealing something a player already probably knows you have in your hand, that is big. That's big advantage right there. And the fact that you're going to be running... Actually, that's a good question. I need to check these. Are these... no, okay, they're not plains, island, land, or anything like that. They're just land. Because if you had multiple copies of this in your hand, like 3 copies, like, I reveal this, and I reveal another one. Guess what? I reveal this, I reveal another one. Oh. But yeah, these cards are very, very powerful. They're going to probably replace the ones from Zen. I already see them replacing the ones from Zendikar. They're actually a nice... I actually think they're a nice... substitute for the fetch lands, even though fetch lands, from my understanding, I get fetch lands, I do. And I get the value and all that. I had a 1 or 2, and then I traded them off. Good trades in my opinion, but I traded them off because value. But I get how it works and everything like that, but it's like Evolving Wilds. Why do you play it and not tap it immediately for the land instead of waiting until someone else's turn to tap it? I don't get that. I don't get how that function works. And then pay 1 life and stuff like. I know it's a search. You get whatever land you want from your deck. You can play it all. I know much smarter players than me know how to work it. I get that. And 1 second, this always seems to happen. The camera is always angled differently when from when I start to when I finish. Anyway, so but yeah, I think these are great lands. I think they're going to do really well. Yeah. So moving on now, the 2 cards that were spoiled. I think was it last night? Yeah, last night. We have Burn from Within. It's X red. Burn. It's a sorcery rare. Deals X damage to a creature or player. If the creature is dealt damage this way, it loses indestructibility until the end of turn. If that creature would die this turn, exile instead. So as powerful as an effective indestructible is, this set is saying fuck indestructible. Oh man. You know, Ulamog, we got Burn the the Titans Fall plus the thing that makes them lose indestructible. You know, screw that. Ulamog, hey, guess what? Boom. But like I said, that takes a lot of mana, but Commander. Good all-around card, though. It loses indestructible. Really, it's just a bonus. The fact is, this is a destroy exile card. This is burn the creature to death, exile it, or if you just gotta do that to people. 1 second, Domino, no. She's chewing on the chair. She always does that when she's injured. She likes to chew on the chair. She is a chewer. Domino, why are you chewing? Stop it. She's not listening. So I'll have to take care of that in a little bit. In the meantime, no. But solid card, good all around. The other card that was spoiled this weekend was Engulf the Shores. 3 generic, 1 blue. Instant, rare. Return to their owner's hand all creatures with toughness less than or equal to number of islands you control. Yeah. If you're running pure blue or even just a dual color deck with blue in it a lot. Bomb card for, just for removal. Plus the art. I didn't catch it the first time I saw it. There is a monster lurking in that giant tidal wave in the art. There's a Kraken-esque being. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, hey, is that ending Emrakul? Is it hitting Martin Larg? Whatever. Merit Larg? The 2020 token from Cold Snap. Is it hitting that? I'm like, well, first, if it's hitting either of them, I'm almost certain it's probably hitting Emrakul, even though Merit Larg, however that's pronounced, might be an Eldrazi, and we know can Planeswalk. Point being, though, Merit, whatever. Point being, though, I think it's just supposed to be like a deep sea horror kind of thing. But who knows? It could be hinting at something. As for the card stuff, blowout card, and especially a monocolor. I got 1 or 2 decks that will definitely, because I think I have 2 different monocolored blue decks. I can think of both of these that this would do amazing in. So love it, great, solid card. Now moving on to the cards that actually got spoiled today. We have Sin Prodder. 2 generic, 1 red, devil, creature, rare, menace, 3/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal top card of your library. An opponent may put that card in the graveyard. If a player does, Sin Prodder deals damage equal to that player equal to the card's converted mana cost. Otherwise, they get in the hand. I saw a comparison with Dark Confidant. I'm not going to bother looking up Dark Confidant to remember what it does. I know it has a similar search kind of engine. This is value. There's no downside to this card, save that you put a land in the graveyard instead. And then you still, if we're the layer on the graveyard shenanigans, it's still value. There is literally, at most, it's a little on the squishy side. It's got 2 toughness, but you can easily pump that up or something like that, depending how much pumps in this set. Point being, there is no downside to this card. I had to do an errand before I did this video. I was literally driving home, and this card was on my mind. I'm like, yeah, imagine if you had 4 on the ballot, and I made like, oh, fuck me! If you had 4 in the battlefield, this is not a legendary creature. Each one has to trigger. So you have to basically just, okay, upkeep, done, upkeep, done. I mean, correct me on the rules if I'm wrong on that, but I think if you were to have multiple copies on this, on the battlefield, you would have to trigger all of them one at a time, not simultaneously. But I'm not certain on that. If I'm wrong on that, then I'm wrong on that, and there'd be no point except for you have 3-2 menace creatures. That's still not bad. But if it is the fact that they each have to trigger, this card is fucking sick. Then this card is disgusting. It is a card I would play too because it's red, and I like red cards. I like blue-green the most, but red's my third favorite color. In the color pack. Oh man, I would play the shit out of this card. Oh, I hope I pull a couple. I actually hope now I pull multiple copies. I need to ask my judge when I play the pre-release on. Hopefully play pre-release. Hopefully my work schedule won't conflict with that. But yeah, this is just a disgusting card to build around, to just do stuff with. If you are specifically playing some big stuff and hoping to pull this guy out, you're like, oh, so okay, give me my Ulamog, or Ulamog goes in the graveyard and does 11 damage to you. Your choice. Actually, no, it was 10 damage, but still. No, it was 11. It was 11. It's Kozilek that's 10. So it's like, yeah, whatever. Come on. She's like, oh, you suck. It's like, yes, I do. So great card. It's a win-win scenario for you with that card. So Tireless Tracker is next. Now, this is in this article, they spoiled a lot of clue. The 2 clue-based cards. Tireless Tracker is a 2 generic, 1 green, 3/2 again. And it does not have any special ability like Sin Brodder does, but it's interesting that they have the exact same mana cost. That being said, rare. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, investigate. Put the clue counter onto the battlefield, sacrifice artifact, or sacrifice it by paying 2 and draw a card. We all know how that does. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on Tireless Tracker. Clues are going to be a thing in this set, and there's a lot of cards that make clue tokens already, so... yeah, I'm all for this card. It's got a pump ability when you play it, sacrifice the clue counters. It's pretty much a landfall ability, so you'll get it whenever you play a land. It's value, man. Value. There's no downside with this card, really, at all. You're going to be playing land throughout your game, so there really is no downside to this at all. And then last, Unival Mysteries. Well, actually, that's not last. There's one other one. Unival Mysteries. 2 generic, 1 green. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, investigate. Again, we know what that does. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, put a +1/+1 human soldier token onto the battlefield. If you're in clues, blues clues. If you're in clues, if you're running clues, this is a card you're going to want. It's just the way that's going to work, because creatures die all the time. That's the way the game goes. And if you're using clues to get creatures, to get pumpers, you're more than likely have small, creatures that are going to die. On turn 3, with with some of the mana ramp in the set, or the block so far, entirely possible you can get this out on turn 2. So overall, it's solid card. Again, tailored to clues, but clues are a big thing at the moment in this set. And then the other one was Convey of the Race. Now, the version I have in front of me right now is in Italian. However, if I remember it correctly, you pay a generic. You know what? Hold on one second. I'm just going to go to MTG Salvation for this. I'm on MTG Realm right now, but sometimes Salvation makes my computer lag, my video lag, and there's the phone. Almost done with the video. Sometimes it doesn't, so 1 second. Where are you? Come on. There we go. One more. Discard a card. Put a 1/1 black Vampire Knight token lifelink into play. Plays ability only once per turn. And it's 2 mana. Token generator, mana enabler, good stuff all around. It's a solid card. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Assuming I don't do anywhere tonight, I'll have Supergirl up later tonight. Later.